And located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go here on a Wednesday. 1 hour on a Wednesday. Walking you up to the Kalen DeBoer Show. And hey, Coach, that comes up at 6 o'clock. If you'd like to join us, I would suggest sooner rather than later. Al Borges is going to join us here in about 15 minutes' time. It's Wes's favorite day. It's teleconference day. I did got an opportunity to talk to Hugh Freeze as well as Kalen DeBoer.
You know, I want to start giving you some questions. I meant to do that. You're going to be interested to see what the questions
are. Now you
asked.
want me to you want to feed me? What?
Yeah.
What questions would you have asked Kalen DeBoer?
Just about the discipline. I said, do you think you have a discipline problem? I mean, you know, you had Malachi Moore, and then at the end of the game, and then now you have you're getting personal foul penalties against the last two games, and that were after the play, and one of them might have cost you a chance to have it did cost them a chance to have a reasonable chance to get the fourth down. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have got it either way, but still, you can't do that. I mean, even after that, they got the ball back through interception on the first play. So
one part of the teleconference, and I'm going to start with Lane Kiffin. Lane has not been on time all year long. He was 5 minutes late for his 10-minute window today, but he was on the field. Of course, his team is prepping for Oklahoma, and he just kind of blurted out through the middle of one answer that was ahead of me. And the other thing about the teleconference, 9 times out of 10, I'm the last joker to get called on. It's all good. But I get called on, so that's good.
It used to be you were the only person on.
Well, yeah, it's getting a little more popular. I think you'll enjoy this. This is Lane Kiffin. He said earlier in the teleconference that they were literally working on the red zone offense because he was on the practice field during the teleconference. How do I know this? Going for it on fourth down. I think you've done it 15 times. Dadgummit. I double-clicked the wrong one. Let's try this one. Coach, since you said it earlier, you're working on your red zone offense. What do you like about your red zone offense, and what do you need to work on?
I like to make the right split so we drop the defensive end on 4th and 1 instead of giving the ball back right there, which was great to read, too, when the LSU defensive end said they didn't have a call, so he just ran in there and tackled the running back, added on to that. So, I like when we execute.
And over the years, what are of facing a Brent Venables defense of just what are some maybe characteristics you've seen out of a Brent Venables defense over the years, Coach?
Just extremely multiple and kind of never know what they're in because they do so many things. So it's very challenging for the coaches and players.
That ranks right up there potentially with the bathroom visit, but
the bathroom visit. He's at practice. They're changing periods.
I get that. I totally get that. Yeah. I really do. But literally, it finished the question, and all of a sudden,
Right. So that somebody probably called him from the SEC office saying, "Hey, you need to be on this call. You're not on the call," and he probably forgot he was supposed to be on it.
Oh yeah.
At least he wasn't in the bathroom. We need to play it every time after he talks.
You want to play it?
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
Well, challenge with playing a really good team that's very physical and it runs the ball really well. And played great defense last year and in the first game, and limit explosive plays. And
yeah, there you go.
The explosive plays.
Yeah,
Got to be careful of those explosive plays.
Yeah. He claimed he was not on because he caught a lot of. They went after him for it. Yeah,
I had people asking me if I was because I was the first one.
If you were in the bathroom with him, who asked you that?
I had a couple of reporters ask me, "Were you in the bathroom?" No, I was not in the bathroom. No.
Oh, it's classic.
Kalen DeBoer, I did not ask him about discipline. Maybe I should have.
No, I think that's a legitimate.
It is a very legitimate question.
Because here's the thing, both teams that beat them deserved to beat them, but it was the non-discipline of the defense that they have trouble with the option.
Here are the questions I asked the Alabama head coach. I wanted to go back to the very first part of the Tennessee game. You win the toss, you elect to receive. Just what led to that decision in particular in the Tennessee game? And then those first three plays, what happened in that first drive, Coach?
Yeah, you bet. Just I think past experiences and just kind of having a feel. Really, I think when it comes to rivalry games, maybe there's one back in 2021 that I've ever lost, and home or away, and kind of know different things that have led to that. It's not the same thing every game. So, but there are some common themes. And so just really felt, that we had had the ball to start games, in some of even the games this season, and that we'd been successful, and it's gotten us off to a good start. I think our defense, other than the Vanderbilt game, has done a good job coming out of the locker room too. So just, have some confidence in our offense, moving the ball down the field early in the game. And then as far as the second part of the question, just, obviously there's a noise issue. Just getting the snap off was the biggest thing, and you try to prepare for that best you can. I mean, we pretty much lock ourselves in the indoor and crank it as loud as you can to where, you can't hear anything. But, there you are in the moment, and there's movement happening in front of you, in your peripheral, and, just trying to get everyone in sync there and kind of get in the flow was certainly hard right off the bat.
And moving forward, Coach, certainly the wide receiver core pops off the page for Missouri. That coupled with defensive back, how healthy are you at defensive back heading into this game, Coach?
Yeah, there's certainly some guys over the last 2 weeks that have gotten dinged up. They're grinding and doing everything they can to be out of practice and get some reps in, and then also of course, be ready for Saturday. So, each of the last couple of weeks has really been steps throughout the week and making sure you have a plan A, a plan B, maybe even more plan C, to just make sure you got some guys that have taken some reps and positions to be able to work together and go out there and execute. And, it was a position that we were thin in to begin with, just the way, things happened. It's no fault of anything that was done before, just the timing of portal and transition here. So our numbers were down. And so, I'm proud of the way these guys continue to fight to get out on the football field and to go out there and do everything they can to win a football game for us.
There's third string players in the third, and some guys have very little experience in the end of that game. And I thought they did pretty good for, they gave up the one, King Mack gave up the one long pass, but he hasn't played very much.
I'm just saying this Missouri wide receiver core
is really
very
good.
Talented,
yeah.
Very talented.
But they've struggled getting them the ball. So, here's the thing. You just got to go out there and don't get penalties and don't turn the ball over.
That'd be a help.
And you have the better talent overall. You should win the game. So you're playing at home. And, it's the two games they've traveled they've gone on 3 games. They went to Wisconsin and won, and the other 2 they lost. So they got to get better on the road. And my thing is, I don't think you should practice with all that noise. I think you should go there
Just
knowing,
quiet?
yeah, well, yeah, and
Just
and
practice quiet.
and work
Nobody
on,
say anything.
yeah, work on your snap count of all sight, because you're not going to be able to hear anything. I mean, you cannot replicate
No.
the crowd noise. You can't. I mean,
Pumped in or not.
So I was going to have a rant about that, because you hear something on the radio, you think it's right. Of course,
You said it.
First thing out of the Alabama broadcast when they started the game was Chris Stewart said that it's loud anyway, but they pump in noise here. And then I heard somebody on the radio, I don't know, it's just arbitrary, it wasn't on our station, on somewhere else, talking about how – no, it was on our station. It was on the guys in Atlanta.
Chuck Oliver.
Yeah, but it was some other guy saying that they said that and that was wrong, and Tennessee already put a denial.
They would never do anything.
Tom actually he teased about it. He was just joking though, but I heard him bring that up, and I was wondering where it spawned from.
That's where it spawned from.
Okay,
that they pump in. And I know I've heard other schools do this.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. And yeah. So
no,
it's interesting. I hadn't heard A&M, but I've heard other places, and I don't know if it's true or not. So yeah. Anyway,
War Eagle.
Yeah.
Let's take our first time out. I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's totally fine. We got to get into our first guest. I have been following this Missouri team a little bit closer than I feel like anybody else has. Just because I don't know why. I like Luther Burden. I like Mookie Cooper.
Yeah,
it's an interesting team, but they will be without a running
Noel
back.
Is not playing, and that's a big deal.
Yeah.
To me, I'm telling you, Alabama needs to worry about themselves, right? Don't get the penalties. They'd be undefeated now without penalties and turnover. I mean, and the stupid penalties, not just penalties, stupid penalties.
I did ask Eli Drinkwitz, how's the 12-man on the field working out in practice for you? I did. I did. Because he went there in his press conference yesterday.
It's going to be interesting as how healthy the quarterback is.
Yeah, Cook.
Yeah.
Because that magic pill
goes away.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, and usually the first, I played on an ankle injury in a game, and then that night the next day I couldn't walk for half a week. So, they can't just keep shooting you up day after day. They'll shoot them up for the game. But anyway, throw pixie dust on it.
Maybe he'll get his magic shoes.
Oh, I'm sure he'll play. I'm not saying he's
just
not
in
play.
time for Saturday.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Al Borges set to join us next right here on The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the zone deals, or excuse me, I click on the top of the page and it says savings never tasted so good. Either way, it's going to send you over to the big deals page. We got Cheeseburger Bobby's, Carrabba's Italian Grill, as well as Full Moon Barbecue. By the way, we'll be at Full Moon Barbecue coming up tomorrow. And Flow Trampoline Park. Something tells me our next guest loves Flow Trampoline Park. That's Al Borges, who is known for climbing up goalposts back in the day there in Boise. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great. You forgot to call me a noted author.
Oh, noted author. Noted author.
There you go.
He does that. He always does that to last.
That's right. No.
Oh, sorry.
Deny the tiger.
Jump the gun on you.
It's all good. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing great. Yeah. How about you guys doing all right? I know that I don't know.
We're okay here in Alabama. We're okay. Yeah, it's only.
Yeah, well, I just got to keep all sharp options away from you guys when Alabama loses. I know that.
It's a transitional season. There's no doubt about that. Some thought it was going to be smoother than it is currently.
No, wait a minute. If you want a transitional season, you need to watch Michigan play.
Okay? So how's it going up there?
Yeah.
Well, they got the torches and pitchforks out. It's not looking real good. Yeah, no, from the penthouse to the outhouse. I mean, it's it's just amazing. This game's got so much ebb and flow to it. I mean, just a few short months back, they were hoisting a trophy and everybody was whining and dining. But today, everybody wants to, jump off a cliff.
Yeah, that's that's what it's like, though, Coach. And you know this better than anybody. Every year, you got a chance to get better, and sometimes you don't. Right? I mean, everything's the penthouse, outhouse, penthouse. It's always changing, right?
It's always changing. And y'all got the biggest problem because you got had to follow Nick, So there's been a monster that was built that can gobble you up. You know what I mean? The expectations are off the hook. You know, he comes into the job. He can't lose one game. Never mind two. Right.
Right.
I mean, that's
Well,
that's
I
unheard
think,
of.
Coach, it's not. I think if you lost some close games, and they're both close, but if you lost some close games and you didn't have all the penalties and personal foul penalties at times, and they're just it doesn't look like they're a very disciplined team. That's what it looks like.
You know, and I haven't watched them like you guys have. I have not. And now I'm going to watch. I have watched, I think, a game about 3 weeks ago. I watched one game, but I have not watched them like you guys have watched them. So I don't know. But I know, when with Saban, that stuff just didn't go on much. I mean, they got penalties like anybody did, but it was never anything you could point your finger to week in and week out and say, "Oh my God, we just don't look very disciplined." I mean, I'm watching them on a quarterback sneak, two guys doing a jump shot. I know where that came from. I never did put that play in my 30 years of coordinating, but
that's because it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. But so, yeah, I mean, they are transitioning, and there's a lot of things that have changed. You want to believe that you can just hit the ground running, but when you make that many changes to your coaching staff, it's going to.
Yeah, they've had a lot of injuries. I mean, at the end of that game, there was like 2 or 3. Well, there's one guy he actually played pretty good though. There was one guy that I didn't even know was third string, but he was, and he was out there, and he hadn't played hardly in any game.
How is their offensive line playing?
Well, I think they're a little banged up as well. They're one of the most. The guards. I thought the guards are tremendous, and Jaden Roberts being one of them. He had hurt his elbow, had surgery before the year's been playing off and on. I think he has a bad wheel now as well. He's been he's been spared by a guy that hadn't played a lot at all. So you look at and then the right tackle, is brand new, and he was kind of hurt before the year, and he started playing because they had trouble out of the other right tackle, which is Wilkin Formby was the guy that was starting, and now they're at Elijah Pritchett. He's done a pretty good job, except for 2 or 3 plays, really. But when your right tackle gets beat, it's bad, right?
It's bad, yeah. But here's the deal, and the reason I ask, and I got to watch them. I see them on all 22 and I watch a couple of games, get a pretty good idea where the issues are. But it just has such an effect on the quarterback. And let me tell you why. Number one, obviously, if they're running the football better, it takes some pressure off him. But everybody kind of knows that. But if the offensive line isn't playing well, it doesn't allow a guy like Milroe to do all the improv plays as much. You know what I mean? Where they give him a few beats to see the throw, maybe everybody's covered, and bam, he takes off. But if he's overwhelmed before he reaches that point, you lose his skill set. You know what I mean? It matters in so many ways. I mean, it affects there, but the quarterback, I think, is affected the most, and not just pass protection. You know what I mean? Running the football, keeping.
Well, that's one thing. I don't think they've done a good job of that. I don't think they've done. I mean, they backed up 50 times. He had 45 passes. He ran 5 times for 11 yards. But he had other times, Coach, I felt like he wasn't as sharp this past game he's been. I thought he was hurt. I've been told he's not hurt. He might be sore or whatever, but doesn't have any injuries. It's interesting to me is that I think
DeBoer's answer to that question was nobody's 100% right now.
Right, but I've talked to other people that say he's not hurt. So that
now,
should
tell
know.
Me this. Did I hear you right? Did you say he threw how many passes?
45.
45. He backed up 50 times in that game.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's
way too many. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
and now here's my question. Wait. What was the score of the game? Where the game flow was it? Such,
the game was 7-0 at halftime, and Alabama had the ball 3 times in the red zone. I think Tennessee did 3 or 4 times in the red zone and scored 7 points, and they threw an interception at the 2 on first down. So I mean, that's
too many passes.
Exactly.
You got to get. That would be my first goal as a coordinator. is going into the game that we're putting, because if the quarterback throws 50 passes, he's going to be subjected to more error. There's no question. Okay. So I'm going to say, my first goal would be we're going to get this to 35 or less, preferably 28 if we can, and take the pressure off him, put the pressure a little more on the offensive line and running backs, take our shots where we have to. But I think that's the recipe. That's why they're losing. Now, you can't throw 50 balls. Most teams that do that are air raid teams that completely depend on throwing the ball to win. But Alabama's never been a team like that.
No, and shouldn't be now. I mean, they have I don't know what happened during the game to allow that. I know that in some of the plays that they've counted on this year, like Milrow runs and other and other plays, were taken away by Tennessee. I mean, there was 1st and 5 at the 5, and they ran Milrow to sweep. And Coach, it was 3 people from the secondary just came up right to the outside. They weren't worried about anything. They knew where the play was. It was just good defense. Tennessee's defense is good.
Oh yeah, no, that's a lot of it too. Now it's not all that. They scheme and they game plan also, but you just got to figure out a way to cut that number. I don't care. You got to cut that number of passes. That's too many throws.
So also 15 penalties for 115 yards as well.
Yeah,
that's been kind of a reoccurring theme as penalties.
Yes,
that's not a good thing either. Now, how many pre-snap penalties? Because that's the one that drives me.
I think there were some early, but late in the game, it looked like they got their stuff together.
I see false start, delay game. So yeah, those are. I see one holding. And
that holding was a bad call.
And
I'll tell you that.
Intentional grounding as well.
Yeah. Well, and the holding is going to happen sometimes. Hell, a damn hell hold every play. But if it's habitual, then I'm going to scream. But if a guy gets caught for a holding penalty,
well, I'll tell you, when I watched the tape, and it was, how you get the ball's gone. First of all, right, the ball's already thrown, and he is falling. The guy got his leg caught up under him, and he's falling on top of somebody, and he just grabbed the outside of the shirt as he's going down. Then he let go and fell. He didn't bring the guy down with him after the ball's gone. I have a huge problem with that call. Huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
you've spoken like a true lineman.
Yeah.
But I'm kidding, and I'm not. I know how that is, But they got it. You can't have. See, when you're playing at Tennessee, and I played there several times, it is a cavernous stadium that can get really, really loud. So your prep has got to. Now, you can't really, you guys know this, you can't really stimulate that crowd in practice. You can do all the blasting in the speakers and all that, but it really, at the end of the day,
it doesn't work. I think it hurts practice more than it does anything.
I agree with you. After a while, you know what I did? I started having what I call whisper drill, where instead of blasting music and doing all that, because I just didn't feel it was helping them, I had the quarterback whisper the cadence so that you could barely hear it. I mean, barely hear it. So they got used to not being able to hear. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly what I said this earlier.
Or goes strictly to silent count, which we would do in shotgun anyway, so it didn't affect us that much. But the point I'm making is you can't have the pre-snap penalties, particularly on the road, because that's where they generally happen. They'll go back to Brian Denny. They won't have any, or they'll have maybe one. But on the road is where your issues come, and you got to prepare for it.
So, my big thing was, Coach, I hate this crew that does the game. I talk about them. I saw them. I talked about them last week. They did the Ole Miss and in the LSU game.
Well, see, here's the problem. You got to stop. They're listening to your show. And you got to stop talking.
Yeah, but I didn't know they were doing the game. I had no idea. You don't know, do they?
Well, they were listening.
Well, why would you take the chance? That's your fault.
Yeah, I know. Right. Well,
spoke it into existence.
They need to stop these. We had a couple guys on the air yesterday, and there was one theme. They need to do away with targeting on running backs. I mean, I get it for receivers and for quarterbacks, right? Not when they're, but when they come a running back, nobody can control where their head's going to be. And you watch the Georgia game, this guy has his head down, and the guy's trying to get under him, and the running back hits him with the crown of his helmet. And it's not logical. And I think what happens is these officials are looking at too much, trying to call too much. It hurts the whole thing.
It does, but here's the problem, guys. And I learned this after I stopped coaching. The game's under attack. You got to understand that. The football is under attack, and people are complaining about all the head injuries and everything. And these officials are being told to call it to the letter of the law. You know what I mean? And I think the penalty to have to sit out the next game, that's too much. He gets taken out of the game, that game he gets taken out, but that's too much. Minimize the penalty a little bit, but I kind of understand him in a way, and I hate it because I just say, I watch these games. Come on, man. You know, I grew up that where 99% of these would never be penalties, right? But they are under attack, and they're being told head injuries, head violations to the head and neck, call those close because otherwise we're going to take a lot of hits. So I kind of know why they're doing it. I don't like it any more than you do, but it is going to be a reality. They're never going to get rid of targeting. Now, what they need to do is make it so it's viable, so it's not a penalty every time what you're saying happens. The running back goes down, tackler goes down, their heads collide. It's incidental. It's basically incidental. And when it's incidental, you got to find a way to not call it. Look for a way not. But when the guy's leading with his head, he's obviously trying to take a defensive player out. That's a penalty. You know?
Yeah, well, I'm all for the defensive player part.
Oh no, most people are, but they have benefit of replay. Okay, which way back when we didn't do that. They have benefit of replay. So when you scrutinize it, look at intent there. Look at some intent, and I think that would take a few of them away. And minimize and don't. That's too big a penalty. The penalty doesn't fit the crime in my opinion. So, but who am I?
You are a noted author, Coach
Damn
Al
right
Borges, kind enough to join us. Coach, is this a good brand of football that we're watching on the college realm this year? What do you think?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's all this stuff. I think I talked to you about it before. The transfer portal and all that stuff it's probably made some of the top teams even better because they can get. You don't have to go to JCs anymore if you're a JC kind of guy. You can just get transfers. There's probably some of the transfers. Some of the JC guys are probably taking hits on getting guys out of their school. But yeah, I mean, think about it. I don't know how many Alabama's got, but I know Ohio State's got a bunch of them. I mean, they got a couple Alabama guys, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. But with the transfer portal and such, if you're an upper echelon team like Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, blah blah blah, you can retool your team fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so yeah, the quality of play should be pretty good. Now, if you get out of that realm where you're more of a lower rung, I don't know how good the quality of play is.
Well,
because
there's a couple of reasons I'm going here, Coach, and because at least for two teams, we're a little less than 3 months away from the end of the season, and attrition is going to happen. And it happened. It happened with the BCS. It happened before the BCS. I just with the scholarships where they are this year, and the fact that this is just what we're living with. I do wonder what kind of semifinals and finals we're going to get.
I don't know, and I don't know, but I know this. What Coach Saban said resonates with me. The way that we're going about things can't sustain. I just don't think it can. I don't think that trying to have it with no West Coast league that's formidable, that can't sustain for the teams that are trying to play on the other side of the country after the year. With NIL and transfer portal just caters to major tampering. I don't think that can sustain. I think somebody has got to come in and govern this and have the guts to do it. Not worry about lawsuits. Just do what you think's right and go for it. And the NC2A doesn't seem to want to do it. So I'd start looking someplace else. So I'm just not sure the way we're doing this could sustain, whatever that's worth.
I agree totally.
Do you have an idea to fix this?
Well, yeah. If you're going to, a few things. I have a couple ideas. Number one, put together a West Coast conference with formidable football teams. Now, you guys are this way. You don't think about that much, but I coached in the Pac-10 for for several years, and I love coaching in the conference. And it's just we played all our games other than maybe one or two on that side of the country. And now you're going to ask the basketball team to do that. You got the baseball team put together a formidable West Coast team where the money is good, where some of these guys will come back where they belong, like USC, UCLA, and Oregon. Get them out of the Big Ten. I don't know. I know why they did it. It's just not very logical. Okay, at the end of the day. Number two is to have the kids sign contracts. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Money. That's why they did
money.
it. Money.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Well, but try to build something where they can make money so they're incentivized. I think it's worth it at the end of the day to everybody. Number two is the kids should sign contracts now. If they want to be like pros, they got to sign contracts like pros and say, okay, this is your NIL. You can sign a 3-year contract. After 3 years, you can do what you want. Or if the coach leaves, you're free to exercise your transfer portal. But the pros don't even get to do what the college kids do. That's ridiculous. The pros got to sign a contract, play for a few years, and then eventually contract after that. But the college kids can leave anytime they want. That makes no sense. That's ridiculous. That's just you're just opening the door for people to tamper with your players constantly. And even the good teams like Alabama. I think somebody left Alabama last year, or the lineman left.
Well,
went somewhere
they
else.
lost 30 or 40 players.
It was quite a few.
Most of the secondary. If you go to Ole Miss, they have 2 starters. Auburn has 1.
Kentucky's got 1. Ole Miss has 1.
It has 2.
That's right, 2.
Yeah. I mean, they're everywhere.
I know Caleb Downs is at Ohio State.
That's right.
I was a fan of his. I thought that kid was a good player. But I mean, the guy can just, why would Caleb Downs leave Alabama to go to
1.3 million?
Okay, exactly. But if Caleb Downs comes in and you set an NIL for him and say, this is what you're getting, and you're in it for 3 years, he ain't leaving. Okay? Yeah, you got to protect yourself as much as they got to protect themselves. In pro football, it's a two-way street, okay? But it's not a two-way street in college ball. It's all the advantages. I always thought the players kind of got screwed for years because they didn't reap the benefits of their jersey being sold and all that. I think that's great, but we've gone totally the other way now. Now it's you can leave after 1 year anytime you feel like it. You can negotiate NILs and unfettered. I mean, to me, it's all in the favor of the players now, where there's got to be a middle of the road for both. You know what I mean? And I think forcing them to sign contracts just like the pros do, and with conditions in them. Okay, like I said, if the coach leaves, then, and I mean the head coach, because the assistant, there's going to be a lot of attrition with assistants all the time. If the head coach leaves, and then you have the ability to get out of the contract, or there may be other circumstances, but you can negotiate it like you negotiate anything, right? But you can't blow out after 1 year. You don't get to play with anybody until that contract's up. Would be the way I did it, and I think that would solve a lot of problems. Now you're going to have to hire a few more people, to handle that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it'll be worth it.
Well, when are you available? That made too much sense right there, Coach.
No, I know. Like I said, if you let me fix it, I'll fix it. Give me enough time, I'll fix it.
Well, here's the problem.
Nobody's going to do that, and
yeah,
and I don't mind because I got a nice, surreal life.
Best team you've seen on the collegiate level this year is who?
Oregon, our alma mater. Yeah, they're the best ones.
Really?
I got to say.
That they had a rough start. They had a very rough start.
But that rough start was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
They hit their stride. Now, do I think they're the best team? Do I think they're going to win the national championship? No, I don't. No, I think.
Who do you think's going to win it?
I would pick if today, and I get to change this as I get closer. But today, I would pick Ohio State. Yeah, I would pick them. I hate saying that. Oh God, I can't believe that went out of my mouth. But I watched them play Oregon, and in a loss, I was very impressed by their team. I think if they play Oregon again, they'll beat Oregon's brakes off. And if they play them outside of Austin Stadium, because you got to understand, I coached on both sidelines at Austin Stadium, and it is tough for the opponent, really tough. But I think in a neutral site, or if for some reason they played them in Columbus, Ohio State wins that game. That's just how I feel. I thought they were good. I thought they're pretty good everywhere. You know, they didn't show any major weaknesses to me. They got two great running backs. Their line has improved immeasurably. They've always got formidable receivers. Their defense going into the game led the country in run defense. Maybe total defense, now that I think about it. So right now I'd pick them because I don't think they're gonna. If I had picked, I don't know that they'll lose another game, but in the conference anyway. Them, and if not them, then maybe Oregon. You know, I don't think Penn State will be in the championship game. I know they're undefeated and all, but I don't think that they'll be. What's that?
I have not watched a lick of Indiana. Have you?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Every place I used to coach, I look at my dog.
Well, that's why I'm going there. How for
real
is Indiana?
They're good. They're pretty damn good. Pretty good. Let me say this: I've never seen an Indiana team like this, or even close.
Really?
Because they're playing. Well, they got a quarterback that can make the throws, and they play good defense.
I saw they played three of them against Nebraska, but it was a blowout.
Yeah, that was it. But the kid, I can't remember his name right now, but the kid they play with consistently, I watched. They played UCLA earlier in the year and just boat raced them. Okay, so I looked at the all-22 on it, and I was impressed. Boy, they could move it. Now I did not look at the defensive side, but I have watched them play defense on TV, and they look like they're pretty good. Now, are they a national championship team? I'm not going there because they'll get a chance to probably prove how good they are as they play more teams. You know what I mean? But to beat Nebraska, who I don't think is a bad team. I don't think they're great, but I don't think they're bad. Like they beat them, they got my attention.
They're at Ohio State on November the 23rd.
All right, but lock that into your on demand, okay? And if I know you guys will be watching that at midnight, you'll have that on. After watching all the SEC games, you'll watch that one. And
by that point, that should be the big noon kickoff, don't you think? I mean,
might be. That's why you're going to have to TiVo it or whatever you do. I don't know what they call that anymore. You record it, because you're too busy hanging out with Willie and watching Alabama. What's the deal with Willie? Every time I turn on my TikTok, I get Willie, and I don't understand a word he says.
I never watched him.
Have you not?
I just flip it to the next thing.
I mean,
why would I? No, I know who you're talking about.
No, we know who you're talking about.
Yeah, because he's on Instagram.
Yeah.
You just.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you just lost your Bama card. You don't know Willie. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Oh, no, look that one up. He's a beauty.
I don't think my card's etched in crimson flame.
Well, I did want to go to another.
No, you're expendable. You're expendable until you learn how Willie is.
Coach, I did want to go to another stop, and that is the Auburn Tigers, and they just don't know how to finish.
Oh man, but you know what? No, I have watched them. Okay, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them after I did get done with all my Michigan stuff. I look at Auburn because they're still near and dear to my heart, but they just don't know how to win right now. But I'm telling you something, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
they're dangerous. Yeah. They're good in the flank. They got good tight ends. They got very good running backs.
They're not very good from behind. They can't pass block. That's the worst thing they can do.
Yeah, but he's got a good arm, and he has been a good passer over the years. But
he's
you're
made
right.
some good throws. He just doesn't have time to throw the ball. He's getting killed.
Yeah, there's times, and they're you know what they are. You're talking about throwing 50 passes, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. When you have a lot of RPOs in your offense, it's very hard to control your run-pass ratio. Okay, so the ball could be coming out a lot more than you plan on it because the box is loaded. Okay. And I believe that RPOs don't. I ran them. I ran them. I still think they're cheating, but I don't care. I ran them when I did it. But the problem is sometimes you got to call a play without an RPO and say, "The hell with it, block them." But we're gonna run the ball. And the ball ain't coming out. Ain't gonna beat. I'm not leaving this one in the quarterback's hands to decide. We're gonna run the football and take a few. And now you can control your run to pass ratio. And if you're an RPO kind of guy, you're not gonna want to do that all the time. But I just think there were times during the season, I think Auburn, and I think I heard Hugh talk about this, is we're throwing the ball when I would have liked to have been running the ball, So I don't know.
So, Coach, but you're talking about something that I don't, we had plays that we called them, it doesn't matter what they line up, we're just going to whip them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we call it and run it. Call it
and run it. Yeah, we had plays that were automatically going to run. Now, if they got into certain looks, like when they put everybody on the line or something, we had one check. We would check to a quick trap, and it worked every time. Most of the time for touchdowns.
Yeah,
right up the middle.
Boom, boom. Yeah, you had a plan. You had a plan. Today, because you and I are kind of dinosaurs,
Yeah, I know.
And
they think too much.
I know, but the game has expanded its check options like off the charts. All right, you can come up to the line of scrimmage and direct a play either right or left, depending on how you want to run it. Okay, you want to run it right in this defense, you want to run it left, and that they call it opposites. Okay, then you got another play. You can come up there and choose two plays. Okay, we're going to run this play against that look, but if it's not that look, we're going to run this play. So he'll give you a little check sign. You just went to the second play, right? And then you can go up there sometimes, call a play not like anything you see, and kill the play, and audible and change into a completely different play, right? Then you got to
believe it or not, at Alabama and the Wishbone, they called two plays most every time in the
I believe that. I believe that. But they didn't have these 100 other options, okay?
Yeah.
Now you go up the line of scrimmage and call a play, and if for some reason some safety sneaks in there, you can pull the ball out and throw a slant or throw some combination of a run pass option, right? The lineman back then, if they did that to you, you'd turn around and cuss at it. So what are you doing? I'm flying off the ball as hard as I can. Coach is telling me to be aggressive, and all of a sudden you're throwing a pass. Well, that's common. That's the norm now, right? That's the norm now.
Yeah, but so what Oklahoma does is tricked Auburn into throwing a pass. Yeah. Right to him.
Well, what they did, this is what they did on that play, is they showed a max look, okay, with two guys coming off the outside, and they showed a zero coverage look on the back end. Thorne was swearing to God that was a blitz, okay? Well, as it turns out, they brought both guys off the edge, which forced a hot route, and they dropped three players into the middle of the defense, and the guy dropping to the weak side hook area intercepted the ball. He just looked at it as the ball. They didn't rush, I think, but two guys on that play.
Yeah.
But it looked like
the ball was tipped as well.
Was it tipped? I don't know.
It was tipped that line of scrimmage.
I just know that they tricked the quarterback. They tricked the coach and the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because it was the perfect call. Because if you did that 10 times, 10 quarterbacks would respond that way. It's just you got to get it out because there's a free guy coming off the edge, and you're going to get clobbered if you don't. So he's thinking, I got to make a quick throw inside to the slant. They checked the play, the defense versus empty formation, knowing what protection they were going to be in, and they tricked the line and the quarterback.
Coach, I did ask Hugh Freeze what he is most disappointed with his team, because he really liked his team when we were in Dallas for SEC Media Days. I'll play a portion of what he had to say right now, Coach.
That we've not found a way to win every single game that we've been in the SEC and the Cal game, every single one of them, with the exception of maybe Georgia. There's a couple of things that if it had gone early right for us in that one, who knows if we're in it at the end. But all the others, we had and I don't, every time I say something like this, people rake me over the coals, but I'm certainly not saying that we should have won or something, but we could. You can't watch the tape and say you didn't have a realistic chance of winning those games, every single one of those.
And I think everybody would agree with that.
I would. I think they're missing a little mojo, guys. They're missing a little mojo. That momentum, that confidence in clutch situations to finish the job.
Do you think, Coach,
he's exactly right?
They're playing too many young people. You know how what happens when you get to a point and you start putting the young people in too soon, and they make just enough mistakes to get you beat.
I've had it happen. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I don't really know the dynamic of their roster that well to give you a take on that. If they may put the young guy in because they simply think he's better than the older guy. I don't know. But you're right. There's going to be growing pains with players that haven't played, particularly college football, and particularly in the venues that they're playing in every week in the SEC. There's a lot of pressure. But I know this. That team they have this year is a lot more talented than the team they had a year ago. he's done a great job of getting some kids in there. They got some receivers that can go get it. They got some competent tight ends. The line has been hit and miss. I think they've had some injuries in there, somebody told me. So that's got to be part of it. But their biggest issue is turnovers. I mean, that's why they're not executing in certain situations, but if they don't turn the ball over, they still win 3 more games. But they have just like Michigan's having the same problem. They just had too many turnovers in crucial situations.
Coach, we always appreciate the time you give us. And noted author.
Coach, thank you.
Noted author. Hey, always a pleasure, guys.
And it's a big weekend for you up there in Ann Arbor.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts-Jackson, and he scores.
I'm sure Michigan fans don't mind that at all.
Yeah, no, I thank the good Lord for very few things, or for a lot of things, but the one thing I definitely thank him for is that I wasn't coaching when that play happened.
Especially special teams coach.
Oh God, yeah, we could have probably been the former special teams coach, although it might have been Harbaugh's son, but he couldn't fire him. His wife had divorced him, so I don't know.
Coach, we appreciate it, sir.
You bet, you guys. Good talking to you.
That is noted author Al Borges. That would be Deny the Tiger, the book that we are referencing. Let's take our final time out. Mark, if you hang with us, we'll get right to you. Maybe not. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hey Huntsville, looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday night, a clear sky continues. We'll see low temperatures fall into the mid and upper 50s for the overnight tonight. Heading into our Thursday, another warm afternoon. High temperatures are expected to reach the lower 80s. We'll continue to see plenty of sunshine and dry conditions. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The SEC Football Championship Game, the College Football Playoffs, plus the College Football National Championship Game, all play right here.
It'll be 1st and goal, Alabama.
The Tennessee Valley's home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
Head over to our webpage, 977ESPN.com. That way you can check out all of our Zone channels, or better yet, download the app. Just search 977ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store. So one thing that I like to do on teleconference day is just kind of peruse the game notes. You know, just get a feel of what the game notes are like for Saturday. Then I scroll across Vanderbilt, Texas. How about Vanderbilt leads the all-time series 8-3-1 against the Texas Longhorns?
Texas has never beaten Vanderbilt.
4-0. 4-0 for the Vanderbilt Commodores in Nashville, Tennessee. They haven't played since 1928. But that's besides the difference. They're 4-0 against Hook'em.
They hadn't played since 1928.
Yeah, 1920.
You know, Vanderbilt was
which
a
they
dynasty
won.
back in the day.
They won that game 13-12. I'll never forget it.
It was before passing even existed.
Their lone tie, it was 5-5. And that was back in 1903. The series started in 1899. I did not get a chance to talk to Clark Lee today. He is becoming quite the popular individual. I talked to Steve Sarkisian, the Texas coach, but I did not get to talk to Clark Lee. And
you asked him who was going to be starting quarterback?
He covered that before I had a chance to get in there. He has been talking quite a bit on his Monday press conference and even yesterday. Or excuse me, even today about time of possession. Time of possession.
But during the Georgia game, he looked like a deer in headlights. That's the most confused I've seen him ever look. Shocked. He looked like he was seeing a ghost. No, I'm talking about the head coach and the fans.
Okay.
All looked like they saw a ghost.
Roger, I've got about 30 seconds for you. 30 seconds for you, Roger. Close us out strong.
That's all good. I just want to say that I think Alabama's got the right coach at the helm. They just got to give him a little time to get things straightened out the way he wants them.
I appreciate the phone call, Roger.
You know, I think without the injuries, it'd be a different story. I don't think they beat Vanderbilt, but I think they would have beaten Tennessee. But that, would have,
could have,
should have.
How about that sentence?
Yeah.
How about that sentence right there?
Right, I know. Right.
I
I think Vanderbilt, I thought Tennessee had a better defense than Vanderbilt, but the offense, I'm not so sure.
We'll see at Full Moon Barbecue tomorrow. No, I agree.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. If you're in the market for a new